Procedures and routines for the beginner. I cannot stress how vital this is going to be to your teaching career. This is either going to make you or it's going to break you. People who are good at classroom management make effective teachers. People who are not good at classroom management do not make effective teachers. We're going to start small and then we're going to build up your ability to do more and more sophisticated things. We're going to start adding tools into your toolbox, if you will. We're going to come back to the first 2 pages in a minute. Those 2 pages are a list of the procedures and routines that you inevitably will need to set up, and then there are some blank spaces at the end for you to add in some of your own depending on what you've got going on in your classroom. But I've tried to give you a pretty good start of the things that you're going to need to do in order to get your class successfully going. But let's skip that for just 1 minute. I'm just going to take you really quickly through what the processes are or the steps are for setting up procedures and routines. And here's how the process goes. Thinking about your whole day and you're going, okay, at the beginning of the day, this is what I do. I come in, I take attendance, and then you need a procedure for that. Then I go into class period 1 and I need to get the kids' attention. So you've got to get a procedure for that. So the first step you're going to do is just write down every single procedure that you can think of through the day. Write down every single one. There should be a lot of them because your whole day is going to be made up of some sort of procedure and routine. Then you are going to write down the steps that you're going to go through to actually teach that procedure to your students. It's not just about having the procedure in your head. It's how are you going to teach it to your students? They're not going to know it just because you know it. You have to actually do something and teach that to them. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to visualize the students going through this process with you. This is so vitally important because I can't tell you how many times I would be setting up a procedure for my classroom. And when I closed my eyes and I took a minute to visualize, okay, the kids are lined up at the door, they're going to come in. And what I want them to do is to sit down without talking, and I want to be able to take attendance. And then when I'm visualizing it, I see that 1 or 2 children that I struggle with all the time, and I'm like, oh, they are not going to just do what I say. And so then you have to come up with a plan of what are you going to do? What's the procedure to deal with these little things, these little quirks? You're writing down how you're going to teach them, and then you're visualizing it to see if you can catch any mistakes or any gaps you need to fill in before you actually go through the process of teaching this to your students. That way, hopefully, by the time you get to teaching it to your kids, you can actually have some of those issues fixed. Then, once you've got a plan of action, you're going to teach it to your students. As you're teaching these procedures and routines to your students, you're going to find that, oh, that didn't work, or oh, that worked really well, and you're going to jot down some notes on how that went for you. And then you're going to use those notes to revise your teaching steps and fix the procedure. Let's go through that again. You're going to write down all the procedures and routines you're going to need. You're going to write down the actual procedure. Then you're going to figure out how you're going to teach it to your students. Write that down. Then you're going to teach it to your students. And you're going to take notes on what you learned. You're going to use those notes to revise your procedures and routines. And then you're going to reteach. And you're going to continue reteaching throughout the year.